start? It's been a while since you've been able to start the Italians in Owusu. Was that what you're expecting when you get the full crew on, so to speak, though you're missing a couple?
I mean, we're still missing a couple with Ozo and Laurea, Kevin Long. There's a few out tonight, but you know, there was a mentality, I think, from the group. They were absolutely committed to that performance tonight and to the fans. Yeah, just proud of them. I mean, they put a hell of a shift in. We asked them to just bring a lot of passion and to bring the discipline around the tactical identity. We knew we had a lot of quality on the pitch, but you have to use it, and I thought they did that tonight on many occasions.
John, did you need a performance like this, just when you look back at what happened last Saturday and the suspensions and the fall? It's been a tough week.
You love that question, eh?
Well, I do.
You do. Jesus. Can you just enjoy the Montreal win, John? You've been a TFC fan for a long time. I think tonight the lads they just brought it together. They really did. You know, you're seeing the passion, the intensity, the willingness to fight for each other. And, you know, that team spirit's there. You know, they knew how important it was for those Toronto lads to get that result. We talked about, you know, many of us aren't from this city. Our parents, our grandparents didn't create the opportunities those Toronto lads had been created, and that while you know, it wasn't really our derby, we said we would represent tonight. We made an absolute commitment that we would represent. Every man that wasn't from this city would show up with a passion and energy to make sure that those Toronto lads could walk down the street with their heads up the next day and go to lunch and dinner with their heads up. That was the big focus today, just a real team performance and building on the spirit that we've seen.
You said that you were going to let the Toronto boys speak before the game. Did that happen, and who did speak?
Yeah, I mean, we talked, as I say, right at the front of the game, we went through the tactical keys, and, you know, again, I made it clear to them that, you know, that I'm not from this city, and my derby's the Tyne and Weir derby. For this player, his derby's this. But when we signed for this club, we took on the responsibility for days like this, and that we would do it for, you know, those 6-7 lads in the room. We would do it for them today. That was the start, and then I let Jonathan finish it. He took the room himself, and yeah, you know, he said what needed to be said. He cares. He cares a lot.
What's impressed you the most about Federico all season long?
You know what, Josh? There's just layers to him. Like he's a really caring man. Like from what I can see, he's a good dad, good husband. And what I see now is he's just a great teammate. He's really taken on that leadership role. You know, tonight, you know, to see him score a hat-trick was special, because he went like 10 games. It was tough for him. Like, he was struggling inside, you know, like everyone's asking the question, is he ever going to score for Toronto? And we just knew it would come. It would come. But I think what you've seen, it was the New England game where he clears the ball off the line in the 95th minute. He's the last defender. You know, his teammates have seen that. He has got massive respect from the fans and his teammates. He's you know, in periods, I think he carried the team.
John, it's 3 goals in 5 games for Matty now. And what's kind of impressed you the most about him during this sort of particular run game?
Well, you know, I'd watched him in the Premier League for Newcastle for a period of time, and what I seen was a young player that burst onto the scene, and then over time just lost his confidence. And you know, with his injury as well, the club took a gamble to bring him in. But you know, you're always going to get a work ethic from lads from Newcastle. They're going to put a shift in. That's the starting point, and the club really needed that. But I think what you've started to see is his quality. He's got real quality, and he can pick those passes. He's got the energy to join the box. But I want to talk about Davy Flores tonight. You know, I thought Derby, that was his best game for Toronto. He brought exactly what we'd wanted to see from Derby at this club, that warrior, you know, that general in the middle that was going to break up attacks. For me, you know, I thought he was the pick of the bunch in the midfield tonight. I thought he was, you know, standout performer.
John, in the celebrations after the match, I thought I saw a Toronto player wearing an T-shirt.
No comment. I didn't see that, Neil. No, I don't know. I mean, look, they they love their fans. The fans love them. I don't know who it was or Big Sig.
Is that a way a classy team responds to a win?
Ah, man. No, it isn't. I mean, it's not the way we want to be seen. That's for sure. But yeah, no, we don't want to be seen like that. Thanks, Neil.
Sydney, go ahead.
Hi, Doug. I'm Sydney Hunt, MLSsoccer.com. Congratulations on the win this evening. I want to ask you about something that Vinny Sartini over in Vancouver said about a month ago. He said that his team was the best Canadian team. Do you think that tonight a win like this had a maybe gives Vancouver something to think about?
I missed that one. So Vanny Sartini. Sorry, can you repeat that, Sydney?
Yeah, of course. So last month, Vinny Sartini, after his team beat Portland 3-2, he said that maybe his team was the best team in Canada, the team that is at the top in his words. Do you think a win like tonight for your team maybe kind of counteracts that claim by Vanny just a little bit?
No, I think Vanny's right to say that. I think him, Axel, the club, Vancouver have just done a hell of a job building that club. My son plays there, so I can't really say too much about that sort of stuff, but I would say they've just done a hell of a job. They're the reigning Canadian champions. They played in the CONCACAF Champions League this year, and I've got massive respect for what the club have done under, like I say, Axel, Vanny. I think he's been brilliant for the city and Vancouver.
Thank you.
John,
One more?
yeah, what does the next few days look like ahead of the return match against Montreal?
Well, we can't take Saint-Laurent lightly. I mean, they were a good team. I was really impressed. I had a chat with the coaches after the game, and I was really impressed with where they got to in that match. It was a tough game, really tough match. So they're going to come in hungry. They've got a real point to prove for us. I think I mentioned there's a Rubik cube around adding players and trying to rotate the roster. It's really difficult to just make wholesale changes. I think that's a tricky one. So we're going to have to rotate. I don't want to look past them. I think we put a lot of energy into that game, and we made players play and pick up minutes in that match to try and give them a rest for this one. So we've got that in mind, but we got to take that game serious. We got to get a result there and just keep on this good run.